Hello and welcome everyone to my Greece vlog. This year we decided to head to Greece to go and catch up with some family. It was a pretty important trip for me because I actually promised my grandfather that we would go and see the village this year, but unfortunately he passed late last year, so he wasn't able to come with us. I wanted to keep my promise anyway, so we made the trip, and we were lucky that we got quite cheap flights. Now this trip wasn't like people's usual holiday to Greece. In fact, we spent a lot of time with family, but I'm super excited to show you guys what Greece is like through my eyes. And of course, the first day of the whole trip was a whole lot of traveling until we finally got to my Yiayia and Papou's village. Apart from catching up with my Yiayia and meeting all of the local cats, we didn't do much else for the rest of the first day. Just basically trying to not let the jet lag get the best of us. But soon we had some pita and went to bed. Day 2. It was a little bit more full on, but like I said before, we tried to not let the jet lag get to us. However, I was awake at about 5:30 that morning. I just spent the morning taking videos of the cats and the mountains and just waiting for our grandmother and auntie to wake up. This is me just super excited to be in Greece again. I also hadn't been for about 7 years, and this was only my second time going. I had always said though that Greece was a very relaxing place and it felt like home from the get-go. So I was very excited to return and also show Alch the village. When everyone was awake, it was finally time to go down to the city for coffee. While we were waiting for the rest of the family to arrive, we went across the road to the bakery and got some chocolate croissants. It then unfortunately started raining, so we went inside rather than sitting out on the balcony. When my family finally got there, we enjoyed some coffee. My go-to, as always, is a Freddo cappuccino. Since we were only there for some coffee, we then started to make our way back up to the house but stopped at the village church along the way. This is the church that the village is actually named after, so I was excited to show Alch what it looked like. After we returned to the house, it was then time to take Alch to my most favourite place in the whole world, the village waterfall. It's about a 10-minute walk from the house, and it's absolutely stunning. It has fresh water coming down from the mountains, is freezing cold, and also has a lot of little wildlife running around. It's a really peaceful place to hang out. During my last visit, I came here multiple times with my sister, and I just liked the sounds of the rushing water. We would have stayed a little bit longer, but unfortunately it started to rain on us again, and we weren't sticking around to get drenched, so we started to head back to the house. We still got a little bit wet along the way anyway. Even though it was raining, it was nice to get out and about and walk around the village. But of course, as soon as we got back to the house, it cleared up. But that meant the view was stunning after the rainfall.
What are you all underneath for?
You want pass?
I can't pick you if you're under the shirt. Oh, well, gone now.
We did also return in time for dinner, which was deliciously cooked by my Yiayia, and made sure the cats were also fed. And then we got to enjoy the sunset and finish up day 2.
Oh, there's more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Day 3 started with a greeting from all of the cats before heading down to Agrinio, the city. My auntie needed to run some errands, so that left Alch and I just wandering the streets. We also needed to buy a phone charger and seeing what we could discover. When I was last in Greece, I didn't get the chance to actually walk around Agrinio too much, so I was kind of excited to explore. We saw a lot of cool manhole covers and so many bakeries and pastry shops. We just had to grab something. Alch was also feeling hungry for some real food, so we were on a quest to go find some. And lucky for us, near the Platea, we found an old souvlaki shop. It wasn't until after we had already eaten that my auntie told me that my Papou had frequented this shop many times.
What have you got there? And a cransky, some bread.
After the food, we ate our Greek sweet in the Platea. We got bougatsa, one of Alch's favorites. After we met back up, it was time to go to the beach. Luckily for us, it wasn't too far a drive, and we went to one that I have never been to before. There's a small town called Kato, Vasiliki, and the beach just down the end is called Limnopoula beach. It has a nice little beach bar and some beach chairs, and we got there quite early, so we got to enjoy our coffee.
South.
I was a little concerned going into the water because I did find these things in there, thinking that they were dead jellyfish. I was a little worried, but turns out they're salps and they're completely harmless. After a quick dip, we went to a beach closer to Kato Vasiliki where they had ice cream as another little treat. I didn't feel much after that, but then we had dinner and went back. Day 4, we didn't get up to too much during the day. Everyone was sort of resting, so Alch and I got out our snacks that we bought previously and played some Magic the Gathering out on the front porch. My auntie did want to show us the nightlife of Agrinio, so when the afternoon came around, we headed down to the city to do some shopping. I was in the market for some Grecian sandals and I luckily found some on sale. Then, because you know that we love our coffee and sweet treats, we stopped for another Fredda cappuccino and some lukumades. You guys might have seen lukumades before. They're little dough balls covered in cinnamon and usually honey, but I got some with bueno. We then wandered the streets a little bit more looking at jewellery and clothes and stuff, but didn't find much else to buy. We did, however, stop in at a cake shop on the way back to the car to grab something small for Yiayia. Then it wasn't too long before we finished up for the night. Day 5, this is where things get a little bit more exciting. Not too far from where we visited the beach the other day, we saw a sign for some ancient ruins for Plevrona or Plevrona, an ancient settlement that was built around 200 BC. We asked a few of the relatives and no one really knew that it was there or had been to it, so we knew that we wanted to go check it out. I think we arrived just about half an hour after open, and I was excited to see ruins so close to the village. It was also not too far from Messolonghi and the salt flats, so it had some pretty stunning views. I also wanted to be cute and wear my new Grecian sandals, which did look cute but hurt my feet. Also, when you go to ancient sites, check out the discounts. If you're under a certain age, you can get in free, which is what happened with Alch and I.
So today we're in the ancient city of Plevrona or Plevrona. There was an old one back in 1600 BC and then it got demolished, and then about 250 BC it was rebuilt as Plevrona, and that's where we are today.
There weren't a lot of standing structures, but there was a lot of the wall around it and some building foundations. It wasn't too big, but very walkable on the side of a mountain, and it appeared that they were slowly rebuilding it, much like the Acropolis, but at a slower rate, and so far they had only rebuilt a lot of the theatre. I won't yap for too much longer in this area, but I hope you enjoy all the footage I got of Plevrona.
So the marketplace is over there. We were just at the water cistern reservoir thing. And then this is what I think is like a house or a building. I don't know, it doesn't have any information on it. He's always like 10 meters ahead of me. He's just excited to explore.
Solid wall.
From up here you can see the view of the salt flats. There's so much, it's so nice. Cemetery. I don't know what that is.
After we were finished with the ruins, we went down to Messolonghi to go get something to eat and to go get a coffee. And we found this place called the Plaza down by the water. They had a lot of different options and I got some eggs and sausage and I believe they called it an omelette, but it was not an omelette. After that, we went for a little drive just to see the flats and check out a church at the end of this road and apparently some sulfur baths along the way. Apparently people come far and wide to go to the sulfur baths, which makes sense as it helps their skin. On the way back to the village, we stopped in at Agrinio to go get some ice cream because it was boiling hot, and also a drink. We were recording all the names of the relatives that we could find. Then I was excited because when we finally got back to the village, the goats were going past. They're super smart, they're owned by my aunt and uncle. They bring themselves up the mountain in the morning at sunrise, and during sunset, they go back down the mountain and put themselves to bed.
I'm recording you. Stuck under the tree. Are you okay? Yeah? You're safe? Yeah. It's blocking everything. Okay. Bravo.
It started raining and my Yiayia got stuck under the tree and was being stubborn, which was why I was recording her. Day 6 and Yiayia joined us for some adventures today. We went to a place called Taverna Vloxos, which was a tavern up on a mountain that overlooked a lake. It had some really tasty food. We just got like a meat platter with some potatoes and some salads. And afterwards, as a thank you, they give us a little ice cream. We took some videos of the view and some photos. And then we wanted to go and see the lake. So we headed down the mountain to go to a cafe by the lake and have some drinks. I just had a juice because I wanted to hydrate. And at this place, they did lake parties. Apparently, it gets very busy and is a very big event. We weren't there for it, so unfortunately we couldn't go. But hey, we know for next time. When we got back to the village, we then wanted to go and check in at another local church. My Yiayia actually has access to it, so we wanted to go and check and rechange the oil, light the incense, and light some candles. Also just kind of clean it up a little bit because there were some old flower petals and some dust and stuff on the floor, and we just wanted to make sure that it was tidy.
Για να αφήσουμε αυτό just little bit time να δούμε πως είναι η change αντίθετα αυτή.
Just leave that one for a second, see if it
Yep. Why would it flip?
maybe it's not balanced properly. The wick keeps going out.
Εντάξει.
Ναι.
This is just something that my Yiayia likes to do, and out of respect for the church, we thought we would come along too and help out. I also think it's cool that I get to share this with you guys.
Do you?
Like the view.
Yeah, maybe.
We then hung outside the church for a little bit and we could actually hear gunshots in the distance. So Alch was trying to time them and see how long they took in between shots.
It was delayed.
What?
The gunshot. No.
The reason we heard gunshots was because they do hunting around the area and also to protect their livestock.
Hey, alright, that was at 29 seconds.
We then spent the night going to visit a family friend. I didn't take any videos there except for Alch getting this one video of a turtle that we heard rustling around in the garden. And that was it for day 6. It was now day 7 and we had a couple of things to do today, but our first stop was Kryoneri beach. We did get an emergency alert that morning though, because there was a wildfire in the area. However, it seemed emergency services got to that quite quickly. When we got to the beach, we enjoyed some food and then went into the water. Now this is my favorite beach to visit when I'm in Greece, as the water is so nice, it is so clear, you can see all the little fish, and it's got nice places to sit. I also brought my phone into the water this time so you guys could actually come along with us, but I was scared of dropping my phone.
I don't want to drop the phone in the water. I'm scared. Fish. And apsari.
The fish were super cute, and yes, when I did go deeper, I did take my phone back to the shore to make sure that it didn't get any wet. I just wanted to make sure that I got a few videos to show you guys first.
You have to be careful around here because the fish actually bite your feet if you have any mosquito bites or anything. Usually they're fine, but apparently they've been biting lately. And I say apparently because I've been bitten by one. I don't want to drop my phone in the water. Model walking through the water. What is it? You're not going to pick it up? You're not game?
I don't want to disturb it.
Okay.
Unless you find like a rock.
There's like mini moss ball things in the water. Oh, look, fish. Big fish. So many big fish.
Looking for more mozzie bites.
And I think these ones are big and full.
Watching these videos back really make me want to go for a swim right now. But anyway, the reason we stopped at Kryoneri was because we were actually on the way to Nafpaktos, a harborside town that had a castle on a hill and was quite well known for its seafood. My grandparents also had some friends there, so they frequently visited. I had also been before, so it was nice to show Alch around there too.
Hi, this is my what's the thing? My wheel.
Oh.
We're all about to die going into this.
For context, Alch was scared of the elevator.
Everything I own goes to Suki.
Not even me?
You're gonna go with me.
Who says? I'm stubborn. You can hear them.
Still yelling. Yell going in, yell coming out. Funny name.
It's taking its time.
What's X? P's R?
Yeah. N is I. It says Chrissy.
O is S.
Huh?
C.
Don't press the button yet. Don't press
it.
Yep.
Wait. You get close.
It won't close properly.
You gotta let it swing.
Don't do that.
Look in the corner. No, it doesn't do it. Does the camera? Sad. Cyclops. At least it was nice and slow.
We can all use an arm.
It's this way.
Oh, it's this way.
We had quite a big lunch with some calamari, some prawn salad, and Alch had a whole fish to himself. After that, it was time to walk the food off, so we wandered around the streets of Nafpaktos. I wanted to go find one of the tourist shops to specifically find some rosary beads with the evil eye on them. It's a tradition with my family, not sure about anyone else's family, but to hang them off the car rear view mirror. So I wanted to get some while we were there. We also saw quite a few buildings such as the church in the main square, some more stores that were selling jams and limoncello and some other small alcohols, and even went down to the harbour to get some videos of the walls. I still cannot get over how blue the water of Greece is. These videos aren't doing it any justice.
Drinking is so close.
It's a cannon.
The ocean?
Yeah.
You're going to drown in there.
You hide.
We finally found some shops, so we decided to have a look for any souvenirs. Whenever we go to a different country, we grab a couple of magnets for ourselves and our parents. Alch will grab a shot glass, a hat, a shirt, and I'll grab a statue of some sort. Here's me finding the rosary beads as well. I was very happy about that. I did really want one of the stone god statues, or even the copper ones. However, we only came to Greece with carry-on luggage, so we did have a limit going back. So I was sad that I couldn't get anything, but this just meant I have to come back another time. After some long souvenir shopping, we stopped in at a gelato place on the way back. I of course got some mango sorbet, it's one of my favorite flavors, and it was quite sweet, but it tasted a lot like icing sugar actually. It was also way past siesta time, so everyone was starting to come out and explore the streets. However, we were starting to feel tired, so we wanted to go back to the Airbnb to get some rest. We were lucky that we were near the ocean and above some restaurants in case we were hungry. Also, this next clip of me is just me checking out the curls of my hair. My hair is naturally curly, although I do straighten it occasionally to maintain it and just make it look less messy, but the ocean water made it seriously curly. And I low-key loved it. After our little rest, we then walked along the water with Yiayia and my auntie, saw this little book stand that was there, checked them out, and then finished up the night by having some drinks by the water. Now day 8 and Alch wasn't feeling well unfortunately, so my Yiayia stayed home to make sure he was okay, and my auntie took me to a nearby island called Trizonia. It was about a 15-20 minute drive to the port and then a not even 5-minute ferry ride across to the island itself. I had actually never heard of this island before, as it's only a small one and it's very close to the mainland, but I was excited to check it out. We stopped in at a beach bar, one of the more popular ones, and it was quite busy. Made sure we got some comfy chairs and some beach umbrellas, and had some coffee and breakfast before we jumped in for a swim. Before we jumped in the water, we were lucky enough to catch some visitors out in the ocean.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. There's like 5 of them.
There was actually so many of them, but they soon disappeared around the corner. I was just glad that I got them on camera though. Now, Kryoneri literally translates to cold water, but Trizonia was even colder, which was genuinely surprising. It was also super windy when we were on the island, and it made the ride going back a little bit more chaotic. I tried to video as much as I possibly could, but when the waves got a little bit too rocky, I was scared of losing my phone. At one point, the boat nearly completely tipped on its side. It luckily didn't, but it felt like the longest 5 minutes of my life. At least before it got too windy, I got enough videos of the ocean looking beautiful and blue and calm. When we got back from Trizonia, we stopped at the Airbnb to go check on Alch and Yiayia before heading up to Nafpaktos castle. I got to go outside of the castle the last time I was in Greece, but we were there at sunrise, so we actually missed it opening because we went back down the mountain to go have breakfast with Yiayia and Papou. Totally my fault. Me, my sister, and my friend all missed out, so when I had the option to go check it out this time, I wasn't gonna go pass it up. It was just a solo venture for me as my auntie didn't come inside. She had seen it before quite a few times. But you know me and you know that I love castles, so I was gonna go regardless. The funny thing for me, regardless of going solo, was that I brought my camera and my gimbal as well. So I actually took Polaroids while I was up there and also set up my gimbal to take photos for socials and set timers to count down so I could get some good shots. Kinda corny, I know, but I wasn't gonna miss any opportunities to get some photos of me at the castle.
Nafpaktos castle. By myself. Alch isn't well. Just exploring. The museum's already closed, so just coming up to get some videos of the castle and the views.
Now again, I don't want to spend the whole time yapping, so I hope you enjoyed the videos that I took up at Nafpaktos castle. The views were absolutely stunning from the castle, and I'm so glad that I was able to go. It was also super nice having a moment to myself as well and just do some exploring. Heading back to the Airbnb, I went and checked on Alch and my auntie, and Yiayia grabbed some food for us, so I just had dinner at the Airbnb. And that was it for that day. Day 9, and it was our last morning in Nafpaktos. Thankfully, Alch was feeling a little bit better because we had a long car trip ahead of us as we were heading back to the village. But we did have a few stops along the way. My Yiayia made a stop at this cafe, sweet shop thing on the way back. It was somewhere that she said that her and Papou used to stop a lot and grab some biscuits and other sweets for family. There was a lot to choose from. We ended up picking up some baklavas and other honey sweets that had some lemon in it and like a caramelized fig, as well as some normal biscuits and galak buriko. My auntie also got a coffee while we were here, but I knew that we were going to stop at Kryoneri on the way back, so I waited to get a coffee from there instead. The sweets were very nice though. During the drive back, I did try my best to get a good video of this bridge. It is the bridge near Patra, and it is massive and beautiful. I think it is absolutely stunning, and every time we come to Greece or every time we drive past it, I try to get good videos of it and can never capture it completely. I still try every time. This is us stopping quickly for a quick swim at Kryoneri. I also realized that we hadn't gotten any Polaroids when we were here previously, so Alch and I went to the end of this road/pier thing to take Polaroids with the rock in the background. I think they turned out pretty well. It was also nice to go for a quick dip after being warm in the car, so I was very glad we stopped at Kryoneri on the way back. Also, this next video is just me in the bathroom. Alch wanted to go to the bathroom but was unsure because there's no male and female toilets, so we just went in the same one and I stood in front of the door. But that was me looking at the Polaroids. Then it was to our next stop.
More stairs up to the church in the mountain. I'm gonna die.
Now there's a church up on this mountain, the mountains being in Klissoura Canyon, where one of my great aunts got married. It was quite a steep climb as well.
This mountain. I'm out of breath already.
The cross, if you couldn't tell, was absolutely huge, and the photos and videos do not do it justice.
That's already up there. There's a church up there. And then I think there's one behind in the mountain. So we're going up there. That's the first church. Big mountain.
I tried my best to take as many photos and videos as possible, but it was quite warm and my phone was actually getting really hot at this point. Maybe from taking too many videos of Alch.
So hard not to slip on these. Doing a calf workout. Tiny. All the way down.
We then stopped in Agrinio, of course, on the way back and got some lunch. Alch, my auntie, and Yiayia shared a meat platter, as well as Yiayia getting some pasta. And I got a pita gyro for myself.
And a gyro for Ellie. Little one.
We also stopped in at a relative's place on the way back up the mountain, and although we had already eaten and had a lot to drink, it's considered rude to refuse people's hospitality, so we had some water and some sweets while we were there. They also had some stray kittens, so I just kept getting videos of them and Alch. Then it was back to our own cats. Day 10, and this one was a bit of a sneaky day for us. We were back in Agrinio for the morning because I made an appointment with a tattoo studio. The tattoo studio is called Live in Sin Tattoo, and I decided to get a tattoo while I was in Greece. That was very important to me and my family. Now, it was secret because my grandmother doesn't really condone tattoos, but this isn't my first one. The tattoo is very special. It is a memento of my Papou. He used to say, "Keep the change," after every little tidbit of information or opinion that he gave. I'd been wanting this tattoo for a while, and getting it in Greece was even more special. I wasn't originally going to get this tattoo in Greece, I just never found the opportunity to do it. And when it came up in conversation while we were there, we called up to see if they had any availability. It turns out that they did before we were going to go back to Athens as well. And just by luck, the tattoo artist had the same last name as me. Not related, of course. But I saw it as a sign of the fates, and I booked the appointment to go get it done. It was semi-spontaneous getting it done in Greece because I had the idea already, and I don't regret it one bit. The tattoo turned out really nice, and I'm really happy with it. So I also wanted to say a big thank you to the guys at Live in Sin Tattoo for doing this for me and being super nice about it, and just giving me this souvenir that I will keep with me forever. I just love it.
My skin is so red from all the rubbing.
After the tattoo, we needed to get some sustenance, so we went to a cafe and got some coffee and a club sandwich. Club sandwiches are a favorite of mine when I'm in Greece. They're super tasty, have a lot of different salads and things, plus the chips on the side is very good too. We need all those carbs. We also then did some shopping. Some of the jewellery that we saw the other night caught my eye and I went back for it. Then we started to head back up to the village. This was the third turtle that we saw, and Alch was just saving it from the road.
I got him through the mirror.
When we got back, we ate some of the sweets that we got from the shop on the way back from Nafpaktos, and then I had to get ready to go and see more family.
Going to go see family. Very bright out here. It's like 7 o'clock. Past 7 o'clock. Like 7:30. The sky is so blue. The sun hasn't set.
I hope you're enjoying these random ass videos. I honestly didn't know what to say to the camera a lot of the time. I also didn't film anything when we went to go see family, except for the food, so here's the spread. Day 11, and our last day in the village / around this area, because we did not spend it in the village. My auntie asked what we wanted to do for the rest of the day and if we wanted to go for a drive to another beach. I said sure, because what else were we going to do except for hang with the goats? You know I actually love the goats. We were heading to a beach called Amfilochia, or that was the name of the town, and the beach nearby is Amfilochia Beach. And I hadn't been that way before, so I was excited to see what it was like. A lot of our relatives actually told us not to swim here because they didn't consider it as clean as, say, Kryoneri, but it was really clean. I think maybe they just meant as clear because it was more sandy, but it was beautiful nonetheless, and we got some coffee and some things to eat as well. We also did go for a brief dip, but I had to be careful because I didn't want to get my tattoo wet. So I was only in there for maybe 20 minutes before jumping out. After food, we realized that we were nearby another cool place called Vonitsa. So my auntie wanted to take us there to show us a little church on an island in the middle of the water surrounding the town.
He's off.
We did originally think that you could drive across the bridge, which you still might, but we just walked it anyway to be sure, and it was super windy, so I apologize for the wind noises. I did try to explain what we were seeing throughout the videos, but the wind was super loud.
By the water. This is where my auntie baptized my turn up the church is open. The castle's up there. I can't really see though because of the sun. I think it's a sea urchin. I think there's a few of them. The more I look, the more there is.
I laugh watching these videos back because I'm like, there were more that I could see, and then there were hundreds.
Castle. Money. That's where I got. Another castle. I don't want to fall over this one either.
Because Alch missed out on Nafpaktos Castle, my auntie asked if we wanted to go up to Vonitsa Castle, and I said yes, so here is another castle.
It's a lot more dry than the Nafpaktos one. All the grass is dead and stuff. Very warm in here. Everywhere I look, he's just pointing the camera at me. They're playing epic Greek music. I don't know what it is. Alch's over there getting videos of the view. Very pretty. We found the dungeon just underneath on the other side. We're now walking all the way back around to that first building. And then I assume it's just back down the way we came.
It was then time to head back to the village, and we realized how far we were. We were actually closer to Lefkada than to Agrinio, so it was quite a long drive back, and we were hungry by the time we got there. We went to go look for some pita gyro, and a lady kind of kidnapped us and took us to a nice shop. She was right though, the food was really tasty, and it was really refreshing to sit down in that platia. They also had a bird in a cage out the front that was making noises and mimicking people, so that was pretty funny to see too. After we had some dinner, it was back to heading up the mountain to the village, where we caught the sun going behind the mountain. The camera once again did not do it justice, and where we were immediately followed by all of the cats as soon as they saw us. We also found Yiayia in her garden. She was picking figs. There were quite a few figs on the tree that were ready to go, so I asked to help.
Are you looking for figs? Do you want help?
Kato.
Where? Another one? Got it? Ah. What? I don't know.
I tried my best to get the ones that Yiayia couldn't reach, but she had her own special ways of grabbing them. I was glad to be a little helpful though. And yeah, that's how we spent our last night in the village. Day 12, and I was so sad. We were saying goodbye to the village and goodbye to my grandmother and auntie, even though we would see them again in a couple of weeks when they came back to Australia. And our next stop was Athens. We did of course arrive in Athens when we first landed, but we came straight to the village and decided to spend a few days in Athens on the way back. We were just taking the bus back, so we did have to drive to the station in Agrinio around 9 o'clock. We got there a little bit early and got a coffee, but time went super fast and it was soon time to load up our stuff onto the bus and get going to Athens. It's about a 3.5-4 hour drive, depending on whether you take the express bus. And although it would have been a good time to rest, I just couldn't sleep the whole way. We made a few stops, including the Olympic Cafe in Corinth, which also made me realize I could grab some footage of the Corinthian Canal as we went over it. This canal is a part of a lot of tourist guides, and you'd see photos of it all over the internet. It's where all the big boats drive down. We also went through so many tolls, I think I counted 7 on the way to Athens, and it wasn't too long before we were at the main station, Klissoura. Just to make things a bit easier for us, I just ordered an Uber to take us to our hotel. And luckily, when we got there, they let us come up to the reception area and check to see whether our room was ready for early check-in. Alch was genuinely surprised because there were a lot of gamer things everywhere, and I wasn't expecting it either, but I thought it was pretty funny. By the way, Peep my hair.
We're now in Athens. Sorry for the lack of actual talking to the camera. It's also because we've just been around family and around the village and didn't really want to do that. But we're in Athens. It was a really cool building. They let us do early check-in, thankfully. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's got a rooftop terrace, which I want to check out later. But we've got a little view of the street and an artwork on the building over there. I don't know where the end of the thing is. There we go. Oh, artwork. But yeah, this is the room. It's only small. I'm not starting at the door, but we got a fridge, we got a bed, we got area for wardrobe, and we got a bathroom, toilet, and sink, and shower. Yes.
Once we put all of our stuff in our room, we decided to go out and look for things to eat. We hadn't eaten that day, so we were actually very hungry and also quite thirsty. We did spot this fresh juice store on the way to Monastiraki, so we decided to get some, and they were delicious. For food, we made it to one of the main streets and found a place called Pax Burger. We thought it was funny because of the event called PAX that we frequently go to in Australia, and also the burgers smelt really good, so that's where we went for lunch. After that, we grabbed some water from a periptero and then went down to Monastiraki to go do some shopping. I didn't really have a lot planned for this afternoon because I wanted to spend the next 2 days going and seeing all of the touristy things, including the Acropolis and the museum. So basically all I had planned was just to walk around Monastiraki and go to all the stalls. We did go into a lot of tourist shops, especially to escape the heat and go into the aircon, but also to look for some souvenirs. We came across this place, Hans and Gretel, that I had been to in 2018 when I was in Greece with my sister and my friend. It had upgraded heaps, but it still had the old gingerbread house and the tree in the back of the shop. It was also super busy, which was so different from when I went back in 2018, and it smelt super sweet from all the lollies and sweets in the store. I just went in to show Alch what it was like, but we didn't end up buying anything. It was then back to the streets to go look in more stores. We found a place called Ellie's, which we thought was funny, and we also found the viral Little Kook place, basically decked out in a whole lot of Disney characters. We also did find another Little Kook building that had monuments from across the world on it. Then we went back to the Airbnb and had a long nap. That's why there's a time jump. When we woke up, it was like 10 o'clock. We realized we hadn't eaten dinner. So we went to a place my auntie recommended called Just Pita to go get some pita gyro and souvlakia. We did get the food to take away because we had a rooftop terrace in our building and we wanted to go have dinner up there.
Got our food. We're heading back. Out found a place called Zeus. Got our food. We're heading back to the accommodation. He doesn't like the ground. We're heading back to the accommodation because there's a rooftop terrace. So we're going to try and eat our food up there so we can see the Acropolis. Should be nice. And it's a full moon tonight. Me with the Acropolis in the background. I can't hold it. Also, my phone is blocking the light. Mushroom light. Saving my plans. Cute. Whoa, it's windy. This is our terrace garden. We can see the Acropolis from here. And then the lights of Athens. And then we can also go inside. There's an inside area because it's quite windy, but it is warm, so how cool is that? Full moon and the Acropolis. We got some souvlakia with chips and pita, and then we got a gyro, an Alch got a mojito classic, and some drinks because we're thirsty. How do you rate the gyros? Is it better in Agrinio or in Athens? I'm trying to find out for Dana.
Tastes like food.
Tastes like food. Is the meat better here or Agrinio?
Tastes like food.
You have to have an answer.
Agrinio gives you more meat.
Gives you more meat. Yeah, alright, that's typical.
Day 13, and we had a pretty big day ahead of us.
Going to the Acropolis today.
We did book tickets for the Acropolis ahead of time, but I believe it was around 11 o'clock, so we needed to find somewhere to eat food first. We basically put the Acropolis into our maps and started walking along the roads and followed our noses to find somewhere to eat. We came across this brunch cafe called Picky that had so many coffee and brunch choices, and it also had a bathroom, which was absolutely perfect for us to stay and hang for a little bit. After getting food, we continued up the hill and through the streets towards the Acropolis even more, and found a sort of back way to go that had some street vendors and some ruins beside the road.
We're going up there. We just have to walk to the base of the mountain first. The Temple of Hephaestus. That's what this is down here. And then up there is the Acropolis. We're getting closer, guys.
I tried to take as many videos as I could, but I was also saving battery and phone storage, and my phone was getting super hot in the sun. I was also getting super hot. It was very warm. Very soon we made it to the base of the Acropolis and just started to follow the signs to see where we had to line up. Even though we booked the tickets ahead of time, you do still have to wait in line, so make sure you're wearing sunscreen, sunglasses and a hat because it can be quite warm and you can get left in the sun. When it was finally our turn to go up, Alch and I went straight to the theatre to go check that out. I am a theatre kid at heart, so this was one of my favourite things to see. Anytime we go to any ruins, the theatre is really cool to me. It was also super busy that day. I feel like it's also super busy every day, but we were just walking along with the crowd to make our way up to the Parthenon. We did stop halfway up the stair area because there were some rocks on the side where you could sit in the shade. And I just wanted to take in the beauty of the columns and listen to the wind going through them. If you ever go or if you've ever been, it's always good to stop for a minute and listen to the wind going through the columns. They make a really soothing whistling sound, more like a hum. And it's just nice to take in and hear, especially because these columns have been standing for thousands of years. And pretty soon we were at the Acropolis. Now, I have visited before, but of course it was Alch's first time in Greece and first time visiting the Acropolis, so I had to get as many videos and photos of him as I possibly could. Also just as many photos as the Acropolis as I could because I don't know when I'll be back.
They're naughty if you touch it, they'll throw you in the pit.
We did stop to take some photos with the flag at the back, as well as the statues of the sisters on the building at the side. Also, remember to bring lots of water when you're up there. The sun can be blindingly hot and I did feel faint at this point. The videos literally just reminded me. So make sure you're covered and you drink lots of water. After the statues of the sisters at the side, we went around the corner where the olive tree is. This olive tree was planted for Athena. So it's quite special to go and see as well, but not a lot of people know about it. Soon it was time to head back down from the Acropolis and we passed a lot more columns on the way down too. Also remember, do not touch them and do not steal any rocks from them. It is illegal in Greece to take home any sort of rock or piece of the Acropolis and other ancient sites. And then we were on our way to the Acropolis Museum. It was a good time to escape into some air conditioning, and it was good to see all of the missing pieces of the Acropolis in the museum, or as many as they could find. I didn't book these tickets ahead of time, but you can just jump in line and go and buy them, which is what we did. Again, make sure you check for discounts. They have some for certain foreigners, some for certain age groups, and you never know, it might just be a special day. We also went on the night of a full moon, and so the museum was actually open until midnight that night. We, however, did not stay that long. I also don't want to yap too much in this area, so please enjoy the little walkthrough of the Acropolis Museum, or what we could show of it, because some exhibits we couldn't take photos or videos.
Artemis and Aphrodite. And that's Hestia or Leda.
This was on the crown of the Parthenon.
We did, of course, stop by the gift shop on the way out of the museum. We picked up a coin and some other things not shown here, such as the monument of the crest of the Acropolis and a magnet. After we finished in the gift shop, we realized our tickets also included access to the excavation zone underneath the museum. So we exited out near the entrance, confusing, I know, and then walked down a ramp near the side to the excavation site underneath. I didn't get to check this out the last time I was here, so I thought it was cool that it was now open to the public and you could walk down along the ruins. After we finished up at the museum and the excavation site, it was time to head back towards the Airbnb. As we were going through Monastiraki though, we did stop for some gelato. The guys at this gelato shop was actually really nice as well. I do want to say that because they were very lovely. And also stopped in at some tourist shops, as well as checked out some of the churches and things on the way back. The thing with Athens is that it has so many streets and so many hidden gems. No matter which way you turn, you always find something cool. And I just love walking around. I feel like Athens is also very underappreciated for what it is. It's such a nice place and a very respectful place, especially to its monuments and its culture. And I always love exploring where we go. We did also find this shop, which was absolutely massive downstairs underground. I just wanted to point this one out. It had so many knickknacks, like everything you could think of, and I picked up this magnet for my mum. It was my only souvenir that I could take back with her. We also usually grab a t-shirt, but we completely forgot to grab one this time around, and I'm so sad because I keep seeing shirts in these videos and I'm like, what if we just bought one here? Just means we have to get one next time. Anyway, as I was saying, there's lots of things to see and lots of things to do in Athens, and I was glad that we had 2 full days to check it all out.
Having snacks. We'll be out for food later. Oh, we're just resting. It's about 6 o'clock.
We had another nap and then we basically went out for food again. It's become a bit of a routine at this point. I did try this feta in pastry with honey and sesame for the first time, and oh my god, it was delicious. The rest of the food was really good too, but that feta, man, I still dream about it. And just before I forget, this is Tony's residences where we stayed. Day 14 was another long day for us and our last long day. In the morning, we were off to Syntagma Square, where we were going to see the changing of the guards. The guards change every hour on the hour, but on Sundays at 11 they have a big ceremony, and lucky for us, we were able to go and see it. It just worked out that our next free day was a Sunday.
Syntagma Square.
Once we got to Syntagma Square though, we still had a little bit of time, so we went to go find some food in a street not too far away. The food here was absolutely beautiful, and this Freddo cappuccino may not seem big, but it was as big as my face, and that's pretty big. It was also really tasty. Knowing that the food was really good was a good sign for a good start to the day. And after we finished up, we headed straight back to Syntagma Square to try and secure a spot to see the guard. But a huge crowd had formed. Luckily though, we could just kind of put the phones above everyone.
People everywhere. We just saw the changing of the guard, but we missed the ending because it got really hot and I started shaking. My arms started shaking because I was recording in the heat. And and yeah, I just needed to go sit down. So I sat under one of the giant plant memorial statues, just in the shade. But we're gonna go up and get a photo of the guard when everyone leaves.
We did get up closer to go and try and take some more videos and photos of the changing of the guard. We didn't realize it had been a whole other hour, so we actually got to see the normal changing of the guard ceremony up close. And that's what this is. We then wanted to head towards the botanical gardens and pass some more guards on the way there. I think because of the big ceremony, they were just around the place anyway.
We couldn't get into the botanical gardens because of strong wind, so we're walking to maybe the stadium or the Temple of Zeus.
Another good thing about Athens is a lot of the touristy things are within walking distance of each other. I say walking distance to make it a little bit easier, about 10 to 15 minutes from each other. So even though we couldn't go to the botanical gardens, we did just walk straight down the road to go to the Olympic Stadium. Because we didn't know that this is where our day would take us, we didn't book ahead, but you can just walk up and buy tickets there. I don't actually remember how much the tickets were, maybe 10 to 20 euro each, but I was excited to go check it out because a stadium isn't something I would usually go and see. Once again, I'll finish up the talking here so you guys can enjoy the stadium footage in peace.
I'm already super tired from just climbing up these stairs. I don't think I'll go all the way up. You try and spot Alch. He's all the way up there. Making my way to the Olympic rings over here. It's really warm. There's something down there. I want to get to it.
I do want to make a quick note and say that this building in here had posters from most Olympics dating back hundreds of years, which was very cool to go and check out.
You're supposed to walk out like you're in Athens. I forgot how to draw the Olympic rings.
After we finished up at the stadium, we started to head back towards the Airbnb, but we made a couple of stops along the way. I think we did walk through part of the botanical garden where those turtles were, because we saw that it had opened while we were at the stadium. We didn't have time to go walk through the whole thing though. It was nice to see the turtles. We did also go inside this really old church in the middle of Athens. I didn't take any videos just out of respect though, and Alch saw this Crystal Lotus Play Cafe on Google Maps. So we stopped in here for a couple of games of chess, to check out what board games and card games they had, and to try some of their fresh lemonade, which I only took a photo of and not a picture, so that's not in here either. The lemonade was really good though. We were then on a quest to go get something small to eat, and luckily we found a souvlaki in Euros place close to our Airbnb, and then we had to go back because we had a tour group to get to.
Today we are visiting the Temple of Poseidon, the house of the god of the sea. On the left you see these huge columns. So this is the Temple of Zeus. It used to be the biggest temple of Greece with 116 columns. Now there are only 15. And this one is Hadrian's Gate. Maybe you have heard Hadrian. He was the Roman emperor and the one who built also the wall between England and Scotland. Many people know him by that.
We were on our way to see the Temple of Poseidon, but the tour guides took us through Lake Vuliameni, which is both a saltwater and freshwater lake, originally believed to have a roof that caved in and became the lake floor, and still to this day has lots of cave systems underneath the water. Our next stop in the tour group was a lookout point, so we could see the Temple of Poseidon from afar over the ocean. The tour guide also quizzed us on some Greek mythology topics along the way, which I knew all the answers to, and she commended me for it, but then Alch threw me under the bus for being Greek. The Temple of Poseidon from the lookout point looked like a literal painting, and the next stop after that was a beach bar.
What you drinking?
Zombie.
What's in it? Do you remember?
Almonds.
No almonds.
Yeah.
There was apricot. There was
Almonds.
rum.
I'll get the list and it'll say almonds and then you have to suck them off.
I'd do that anyway. Just trying to get the list. What did it say?
It said apricots.
Yeah, it was apricots. Beach bar. We're at a beach bar, but I'm Swedish. Just because of my tattoo. Look at this reaction. I think that's like a heat rash. That is not good. I'm not gonna swim because of my tattoo, and also I'm kind of sunburned. If you guys can't tell. So I don't want to get more sunburn, even though the UV index has gone down. So we're just chilling. We got a cocktail on us outside. We got a cocktail and some water, and we're just chilling at a cafe. Yeah. You wash your legs?
Not too long after we finished up at the beach bar, it was time to head to Cape Sounion and the Temple of Poseidon. We met the tour group back at the tour bus, and started to head to the top. The only thing is, it was super windy when we got there. I actually did try to speak to the camera a few times, but the wind was so intense that I couldn't actually hear myself when listening back to the footage. Cape Sounion was quite pretty. Apart from the temple at the top, it also had a settlement further down the mountain, which is now unfortunately just rubble, but you can still see the foundations like most other ruins. And it also had pathways that led all the way down to the water. I apologize in advance about the wind noises, but I hope you enjoy my footage of Cape Sounion and the Temple of Poseidon.
Yeah. I don't know if you can hear me at all because it's actually super windy, but we're at the Temple of Poseidon. It is just up this mountain. However, we found a separate pathway that we're following and Alch has disappeared. I am fighting the wind. I'm in a dress and it is blowing me away.
Once we were finished with the Temple of Poseidon, we jumped back in the van and the tour guide started to take us all the way back to Athens. I didn't realize we were almost 2 hours away. The sunset was super nice on the drive home as well, and apart from a few hiccups stopping us from getting back to our Airbnb, there was a protest on. We got back safely and that was it for day 14. It was now our last day in Greece and it was finally time to go home. The trip did not nearly feel long enough and I was so sad to leave after only 2.5 weeks. Not even. I was really happy that we could make the trip and we could actually afford to go and see as many family members as we did and also buy some souvenirs for us to bring back. I just do hope that we can go and visit again soon. Alch did promise some of my family that we would be back next year, but we will see how that happens or if that happens. But yeah, going back to Greece made me really miss Greece, if that makes sense. I had such a fun time and it was super relaxing as opposed to our busy life schedule at home, so it was nice to catch a little bit of a break. We did also stop in Singapore on the way back. If you do want to see what we got up to in Singapore, I do have a vlog out of that right now on my channel as well, so go check that out if you want to continue the story. I hope you all enjoyed my Greece vlog. I hope you enjoyed getting to see what my family is like, and I hope I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!